A German bunker in northern Russia. During the World War II, the Nazi German soldiers were able to gain a foothold quite far north of the USSR. One of the main targets in Russia's north was Murmansk, which came under regular air attacks. The area around Murmansk was lined with German fortifications. One of these fortifications was a stronghold known as K6 Geisberg after Geisberg Mountain east of Salzburg. The 82nd Mountain Engineer Battalion of the Wehrmacht's 2nd Mountain Infantry Division built this stronghold in 1941. The division was formed in 1938 and was also known as Stone or Height 200 in documents from that era. The main crew was Austrian. In June 1941, the 2nd Mining Division attacked Murmansk. However, it was withdrawn to Norway in November of the same year for replenishment. From 1942 to 1944, it was transferred to Luostari and Petsamo in the Pechenga district of the Murmansk region. In October 1944, when the Soviets surrounded them, the combat units of the division escaped from the fortifications and were withdrawn to Denmark. The division, which had already been reformed, surrendered to the Allied troops who had only just entered the war. As you climb the mountain, even on the approaches to the firing positions, you can still see the remains of rows of German barbed wire. It's still lying on top of the Jaeger and lichen, which differs from the Soviet one by more frequent weaving of barbs. The area is littered with bits and pieces from exploded mines and shells. At the very top you'll find stone fortifications. There are also some shelters made of corrugated steel, which are called foxholes. You'll also find shell casings from German cartridges here and there. There are also some trenches made of stone that connect many of the firing points. Just a few kilometers from the main fortifications on the hill near the lake, there's another small hill called Height 222. There's a small German bunker built in a granite mountain at the base of it. Based on German and Soviet operational maps, it seems this bunker was built in 1942, when the defense of the polar region stabilized. You can still see part of a concrete plaque with inscriptions above the entrance to the mountain. It was just a basic shelter for the garrison personnel and pretty standard for a German fortification in the polar region of the stronghold. This one was a pair of rooms with the main entrance at the foot. What made it different from similar objects is that it had an emergency exit punched up to the machine gun firing point. There are lots of remnants of rockets from Soviet BM-13 Katyusha near the German fortifications. These were used by Soviet soldiers to knock the Germans and Austrians out. On the hill, you can find scattered parts of a German airplane, probably a bomber that fell from anti-aircraft fire. Unfortunately, most of it was taken by hunters and tourists for souvenirs and non-ferrous metal. That's all for today, folks. If you'd like to support our channel, you can do so by sending a super thank you or by sponsoring us. Best of luck to everyone!